In the European Parliament there are currently 73 seats reserved for British parliamentarians. But if Britain votes to leave the European at its Brexit referendum, those seats will be lost. What else will Britain and Europe lose with the Brexit? Some estimates say 3 to 4 million British jobs could be lost, and British people could lose the right to freely travel to other European countries. But does that weigh up to the benefit of full independence from European rules? That's what young Brits came to discuss during the European Youth event in Strasbourg.
I kind of think of it as if Britain is in a relationship with the European Union. It'd be like breaking up with the best boyfriend they'd ever have, basically. And it's kind of like where you're trying to pretend that you haven't been influenced by the relationship and that you're still the same person that you were before. Whereas I think we do have a real European identity, and I think if we left the EU, then we'd lose some of that identity. Yeah.
Right. So you don't think Britain would be a good single?
No.
I think, like, from what I've understood, is that the migrants, they would have stricter control over migrants because we wouldn't have to take in a quota from the EU. So then more migrants would leave the country, and then as a consequence, then say British workers would be able to gain their jobs back. But I think it's just best if we stay. It'll complicate things, you know. Like all these treaties will have to change, and it's just too complicated. I think just stay in.
What do you think Great Britain will lose if they leave the European Union?
Great Britain will lose a family. I think the most important thing about the EU is that it's a family of collective nations with a shared identity working together to make this whole continent a better place. And we don't want to get left behind from that. If we want things to happen, if we want social change, we need to do it together.
Now, it's clear how the young Brits think about it, but will the rest of Europe miss Britain? Do you think there's a Europe without Great Britain?
I don't know really. I think no, because Britain was one of the first countries to join the European Union.
So you would miss what Great Britain culture adds to Europe?
Yes, absolutely, because it has a really great culture and it's really important too. So we all know in Hungary, we all know about the culture of Great Britain.
Their behavior is like it's like a little kid that wants attention, you know. They got the feeling that they should be the special one because of their great history, always the center of the empire, and now when you have to be equal with 28 states that are, you consider them inferior than you need your attention, so let's go to a referendum, yes we are great, yes we are Britain, and I don't know.
There are clearly consequences if Britain leaves the European Union, but whether the Union Jack will still wave in front of the Parliament in the future remains to be seen.